All right, first thing we'll talk about is the lower half here. But we'll walk through, basically the overall um, mechanics and how force gets generated and how people can throw so hard in baseball. Okay, so basically how it works is if you think about like a ball of energy, your body is just a ball of energy. Okay, so right now, that ball of energy is in your back leg. Okay, so once he starts moving forward, that energy gets pushed. Once your front foot hits, that ball of energy is right there on your front foot. Okay, from there, it just basically works up your body. So now it's in his hips. His hips rotate. Now his chest is rotating, so that ball of energy is in his chest. Rotation finishes. Now it's up here in his shoulder. And then there comes out the hand. So the pitching the pitching move overall is like a very complicated and complex thing that our bodies are allowed to do. So if something isn't moving correctly within our bodies, let's say we have tight hips, tight ankles, poor shoulder mobility, you name it, something along the line can lessen that ball of energy. Okay, so that's why the dynamic warm-up, stuff that we do beforehand and afterhand of throwing is super important because we're just trying to prime your body and get your body to move correctly. Okay, so moving on to the lower half, this back angle, the only thing we can basically see from this is what he does when he starts moving forward. Okay, so the biggest thing that we want to think about is trying to generate velocity with our butt, okay, so with our glute. So you can see he's almost sitting into his back leg in the middle of his foot or on his heel, and more of his weight is in this part of his body in the back, so like his hamstring and his glute, aka his butt. You'll probably hear a couple things about vertical shin, and all that means is just when you throw, your shin is straight up and down. Okay, so the vertical shin part just means that you're sitting into your glute well. Okay, the one thing you got to think about with pitching is in your lower half is you need to create as much ground force as you possibly can. So if you think about the video that we were walking through with the ball of energy, all of that energy comes from the ground and comes from your feet and moves up. Okay, and what this guy does a really good job, so we're on the video on the right, is he creates ground force. Okay, so your first movement, your leg starts picking up, you start moving this way. Okay, through the middle of your body, you need to start moving towards home. Okay, staying over the rubber does you nothing. Okay, so you need to generate force going towards home. That's where you're throwing the baseball, so you need to generate force going that way. So you can see he's got a little bit of a drift. Max leg height, he's moving forward. And you can see what part of the body is moving towards home. Okay, from that point, he's not jumping, he's not pushing. He's just letting his lower half and letting his legs take him down the mound. From this point, you can start seeing his back knee. Okay, so all we're doing is watching this leg right now. His back knee works into the ground and his back hip. So all of this moves into the ground, or if you want to think about into your back leg or into your front leg, you can do that too. So everything is working down and rotating. rotating into the ground and into your front leg. Now the only thing your lower half has left is that ball release. Your front leg will stiffen up. Okay, this guy he's pretty average with it. But a lot of times what you'll see is a completely stiff leg. You can see that he was trying to get into it. So right at ball release, he starts to stiffen up a little bit. All that does is just help rotation.